going to happen. I mean, we have a full sheet of paper in there for communications and parks and rec. I mean, you know, we're advertising, you know, the farmers market and everything else. But just a suggestion that I've already had 2 neighbors come to me and tell me that they're not letting you in their home.
Just clarification, I don't know if you've seen the Newsbeat that came out. The last page in Newsbeat has a very expansive article on the meter replacement program, answering a lot of questions that the homeowners may have also. And it's a full 1-pager. So it has that portion that you just mentioned, plus an expansion underneath of questions that the homeowners may have. Yes,
one of the considerations was to make the typeface bigger, expand it, and, you know, maybe have a FAQ, you know, frequently asked questions printed out and on the website, because I'm talking, my neighbors are freaked out.
Sure. We'll take your suggestion. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Mr. Bacamino.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's one more quick suggestion, too. I know WOW Cable's switching over, and they're airing 24/7 what their people will do when they enter the homes. They're actually showing how the new box will be established for the high-def TVs. I'm wondering, have we approached our communications department maybe in air just a public service announcement, even a 5-minute spot to lessen the fears of the citizens?
We can do that. We have not.
I would appreciate that. Maybe Ms. Smolian's listening. She can get with you, and you guys can do something as we have in the past. Thank you.
Ms. Mosseri, I have one question for you. This appears as though the water department is basically purchasing software and printers for your department to help facilitate what they need as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to know, these printers, are these something that you can only use for water, or will these be used for any cash receipting that goes on at the treasurer's window?
They will be used for any transaction that is used up at the window. You're right, the water department is going to upgrade the treasurer's department on their printers. You're absolutely right. Wanted to do this for the water department because I feel it's a good fit to help us be more technology orientated. But Council, I don't have the money in my budget. I think this is one of the working hand in hand with 2 different departments and crossing the boundaries to come up with something that's good for both of us. They have technology that they want to do forward with their readers. I have meters. I want to have technology to go forward with allowing Visa and MasterCard. But to your question, yes, they are.
Okay, but this is something that can be used for all the cash receipting that you handle?
Yes, it will be.
We're not going to have to be worried about which printer am I hooked up to type thing?
No.
Okay.
Madam Chair.
Mr. Sadowski.
Madam Treasurer, what percentage of transactions at your counter would you say are water related?
Half.
At least half?
Well,
I would
actually more, because we do water 12 months a year and taxes are like 4 months of the year. So cash receipting, to be honest with you, would be more like 85% water, because people come every month to pay their water bill, where many people only come at the most twice a year to pay taxes. So the cash receipting system is used primarily for water.
That's what I thought.
Yes.
And so having the water department purchase this to be used in your department, in the treasurer's department, you're going to be using that equipment for a bulk of the transactions that are which would be water. So thank you.
Yes.
All right, with that, I'm going to call the question. Mr. Sadowski.
Yes.
Mr. Stevens.
Yes.
Ms. Vogt.
No.
Mr. Warner.
Yes.
Mr. Liss.
I'm voting no.
Mr. Green.
Yes.
Ms. Comartin.
Yes.
Mr. Bacamino.
Yes.
Camp, yes. The motion passed 7-2.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Council.
14F, consideration and adoption of a resolution authorizing the mayor and the clerk to execute extension number 3 and final to City Project W-09-512 2009 Water Division concrete manhole and sod repairs with Zuniga Cement Construction Incorporated, increasing the project in the amount of $31,272, also authorizing a payment in the amount of $31,613.18.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Stevens, support by Mr. Green. Any discussion?
Madam Chair.
Ms. Vogt?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Is there,
How did we get this item?
Mr. Shadegg, not supposed to be here till after we take a break.
Motion to take a break?
If I does this complete the contract with Seniga then?
Good evening, Council. Todd Shadegg, Acting City Engineer, and I do appreciate you hearing this before the break, by the way. This is a closeout on a contract that ran for 2 years, for 2009 and 2010. If you look through the correspondence, you can see that this was extended and carried over from 2009, and we completed our 2010 work under those prices. So yes, this is a closeout of that contract, Councilwoman.
Okay, so this will, we extended, they did additional work, but on the same terms
Correct.
as the previous contract.
Correct.
Generated some savings for us.
Yes. The additional work in here mostly was winter work. We had kind of a rough go of it around Christmas time this past year, and there was some major repairs that needed to be done. 14 Mile Road, Lorraine, there was another one at Van Dyke and 11 Mile. So those were included in here and kind of drove the cost up a little bit, but same terms.
All right, thank you.
Any other comments from council members? Then I'll call the question. Mr. Stevens?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Ms. Comartin?
Yes.
Mr. Bacamino?
Yes.
Mr. Liss?
I'm voting no.
Mr. Sadowski?
Yes.
Ms. Vogt?
Yes.
Sorry. Mr. Warner?
Yes.
Camp, yes. The motion passed 8-1.
14G, consideration and adoption of a resolution authorizing the mayor and the clerk to execute proposed change order number 2, contract ITB-W-8051, SRF project 5401-1, wastewater treatment plant disinfection system improvements, which would increase the contract in the amount of $77,224.47 with Renco Contractors Incorporated.
Need a motion and support.
Motion
So
to approve.
moved.
Motion by Mr. Sadowski.
Support.
Support by Mr. Green. Discussion?
Madam Chair.
Ms. Comartin?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening. Question for you. On the resolution, there's an account number. It's 9040970001. Do you know how much is left in that reserve account?
Is your mic on? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think it is.
There.
Thank
how's
you.
that?
There you go.
Sorry. The reserve account was actually set up for this project. So there's the amount for the project plus a 6% contingency established. And so far with the change orders, I'm assuming this is the final change order as we're closing out the work. We have a couple of punch list items is all that we have left. And the total amount of change orders is about 3% of the total. So I think there's about $135,000 left in the line item.
Okay, and that the leftover reserve accounts saying that we think this is going to be the final endeavor with this and we're not going to have any more charges. What happens to the money in the reserve?
Of extra, I think there'll be one more final payment to close out the job as soon as we finish the punch list items. I didn't want to pay that final payment until those items were taken care of.
Okay, do you still think we're going to have some reserve left over?
Oh yeah, there'll be reserve left over, and there will be no more changes because, you know, I made sure that the project was ready to close before we came before you with the final change order.
Okay. When you get to that point, could you let us know how much is left over actually in that reserve
You mean
account when you
beyond
Yeah.
what the total was that was approved? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, that sounds good. And then question for you on item number 6. It says on the very bottom of the paragraph, it says water repellent coating material to be turned over to the city. Can you explain that to me?
Item number 6.
Yep. Are we?
Yeah, that was for making the outside of the building water resistant. And the material had already been purchased. So we decided to save on the labor and not do that, but we have the material. So in the future, should we experience any kind of problems, we have the material so we can waterproof the building ourselves.
Okay, so it's going to be like turned over to DPW or some maintenance?
Well, no, the treatment
or-
plant will have it in our stock.
Okay.
And if we need to waterproof our building, my staff will do it.
All right, and then you'll have the supplies to do that. I was wondering
Right.
why it said returned over to the
Right.
city, and I just wanted clarification on that.
Right, that's why.
And then I think there was one other thing. And now that you were eliminating a new check valve, it's on the reason for the change. It says you were eliminating a check valve to prevent backflow. Now, if that's being eliminated, there isn't any issues with backflow, or why?
Which item are you speaking of?
It's under reason for change, and it's right under number 1, or part of 1, I should say. Second paragraph of 1.
Well, I believe that's an addition of a check valve that was added because when we empty the retention basin, now we won't be using it unless the basin overflows. So when the chlorine contact chamber sits empty, we want to make sure that there's no water in that line during the wintertime that will freeze. So we now install a check valve to prevent that from happening.
Okay, but it says, did it say that that's being eliminated, or no?
No, it shouldn't be eliminated on 1, not at all.
All right, that one is not being eliminated.
No,
I thought
it's the addition of a check valve.
Okay, so you're adding it in.
Right.
All right. And I think that was all my notes that I had on that. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any other comments? Just real quick, Mr. Monet, thank you very much for the detailed backup, and I just want people to know that with the completion of this, it says this green project will eliminate the discharge to surface waters of 143,000 pounds of chemicals per year and eliminate all future risk of chlorine gas release into the atmosphere. So,
Absolutely.
good job. All right, with that, we'll go ahead and call the question. Mr. Sadowski.
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Ms. Comartin?
Yes.
Mr. Buckamino?
Yes.
Mr. Warner?
Yes.
Ms. Vogt?
Yes.
Mr. Stevens?
Yes.
Mr. Liss?
I vote no.
Camp, yes. The motion passed, 8-1.
Good evening.
Madam Chair, break.
I have a request for a break. Council will go into recess. Ready? Okay, we'll go ahead and resume the council meeting on agenda item 14H.
Consideration and adoption of a resolution adopting the 2011-2016 City of Warren Housing and Community Development Consolidation Plan and 2011-2012 Action Plan and authorizing application for 2000